Well, I'm going to be talking a lot about emotional management today and my refusal to not respect a stop loss. The market again gave me a get out of jail free card, one that I didn't deserve, but I got it today. Um, Same old, same old. I won't waste much time. I'm going to explain what happened. So, through the morning, we had this pre market downtrend, break new low, and then uh I want to say weak downtrend in the morning, but as you can see, we were quite whiplashy above the EMA, but definitely a downward tendency there. Quite a flat downtrend, I should say. Anyway, let's get into the disaster of the day, or potential disaster. I was looking for ways to get in short. We had this mess here, and then what I see is first leg of correction and another leg of correction. At this point, I didn't have this downtrend drawn, but I was thinking, we're going down. So I see a first entry short, second entry short. First problem here is I've got too confident or maybe even cocky with these moves. These are always risky, going short above the EMA unless you really know what you're doing, like Mac. First problem here, or second problem, big engulfing bar makes it a bit more riskier. Second entry, it happened on the previous bar. And also, again, just really not calculating the risk or accepting the risk. 5.5 points on a big C grade setup. Fuck are we doing? Immediately ticked in and green bar. I move a stop. Yep, move to stop. I'll go into my reasons why later. And I actually tried to DCA on this candle, which in a good trading, relaxed mentality wouldn't have been a bad decision. Because I think technically we could just reset the count here. First entry short, second entry short off of what was then the down channel. But this moved really quickly, and I just let it play out for the original 2-point scalp. Still a bit tilted at this point, annoyed by my actions. I then take this lower high here. Again, what are we doing? Not back to the EMA, shorting right into the lows. We've already moved very significantly. Too much for this to be a lower high. What happens? Ticked in, and we're back on another move up here. God knows where I moved to stop to. And then we DCA'd. The only, I don't even want to say a positive here. Damage limitating, we could say, is that I DCA'd on an actual setup and the safer setup. First entry long, second entry long, failure. Initially, this bar looked better for me. It closed on its low below the EMA. I entered here and decided I would aim for the lows of this swing. So on the first entry, we get 3 ticks. On the second contract, 5.5 points. So worked out 3 points on both contracts. Should have stopped trading there. Nope. we decided one more trade will be fine. Still looking for a low of his downtrend. We come up, break new high. And this lower high I actually do like, but again, taking on too much risk. So we have a big, strong lower high here, but again, entering with a stop order within 6 points of risk. And we had decided after this trade that we now have enough drawdown to take 2 contracts. We get ticked in and immediately 3 points in the red. This time at least I didn't move the stop. I just looked at the screen and thought, oh my god, I'm about to take 6 points of loss across 2 contracts. Thankfully it then formed a failed second entry long, which again would have been a good trade to take by itself, but He gets scalped out, and at this point, I decided, right, that is enough carnage for today. Let's shut it down. So terrible emotional management, bad trade selection, at least until this last trade and the DCA. So I wrote down a few thoughts. What's causing this? First, I need to get this sort of eval out of drawdown and past the SAP. That's my mentality. That's how I feel in trades. And it's like I can't take this loss because it will push me back 2-3 trades. I need to get this eval out. I need to have a PA. And I can't take this loss. And no matter how much I tell myself before and after trading that this is terrible emotional management, in the moment, that takes over. Second, I think I'm putting too much pressure on myself with financial goals, not to pay bills, but to get what I want from trading financially. Landscape the garden, a new car, not a Lamborghini, but at least a nice new car, new windows for my house. I've put potentially new house because, quite frankly, I hate my neighbors. Like, I really just hate my neighbors. Typical loud. We say in Argentina, quilomberos, just people that cannot be quiet. And I think I've done the mistake of just having in my head constantly, oh, what's the quickest way to where I want to be? Well, I could get 20 EPEX accounts, 20 accounts, max payouts, $60,000 every 5 days, 10 days. As we know, that's terrible thoughts to have, emotional management. And I think I'm just really putting too much pressure on myself, so each loss feels like a huge step back from where I want to be, instead of just being another trade of many. And I told myself when I was walking my dog this morning, looking back at the last few days, if I just traded like that, I would have had, in respect to my stop loss, at least before today's carnage, it would have been 8 trades with 1 loser. Come on, that's more than good enough. So I just need to accept the probabilities and let the probabilities work out. But I'm looking at each trade as if it's like a penalty in a World Cup final, as if it's a penalty shootout to win the World Cup, and each trade is like an individual penalty. And that's just terrible management. And the third point, taking on too much risk per trade, which I'm not accepting. So I've been entering with stop orders, like Mac does, 1 tick below or above the signal bar, and not really looking at the risk a lot of times. Then I'll enter the trade, it'll start going against me, and that's when I look at how much risk I'm taking, and it could be 5 or 6 points, and I don't want to take the loss. So I really need to work on strict risk management rules, and not take as much risk as that if I can, or size, if I really want to take the trade, size down. So some ideas going forward. 4 points max of risk. So if the signal bar is bigger than 4 points, use a limit order or just skip the trade, and let it go, accepting that it was too much risk. I think 4 points is something I can accept because it means 2 wins and I'm back to break even. And with my win rate, that's fine. Place trade and walk away. I can't trust myself to sit here and respect a stop loss, unfortunately. Embarrassing to admit, but for now, I have my fingers trained almost to just move the stop loss. Yeah, so I'll place a trade, walk away for 10 minutes, might set an alert for the stop loss or take profit and come back. If it's a loss, we lock out a trade of 8 for 15 minutes because, as we saw today, I immediately, even after surviving a stop loss move, I then took another bad setup. Again, 15 minutes after a loss, and if we're still not calm, lock out for another 15 minutes. Another one I heard from a few traders that they've implemented, if they break a rule, they say 2 days of no trading. And I'm really going to try and force this on myself because I feel I don't have enough accountability just now. I break a rule, and because I don't have a boss, I just come back tomorrow without any consequences. And I know I wouldn't do this if I had a manager, supervisor above me. So yeah, I think if I break a rule, I'm not going to trade for 2 days as punishment. It might make me think twice before moving a stop loss or taking a very bad trade. And also 1 loss a day and shut it down could be an option too. I think I'm going to just try and lock myself out of trade of 8. I think if I take 2 losses in a day, yeah, that's it. I could walk away. But I've got to allow myself to take a loss. And if I still can't accept it, then 1 loss and I walk away. But yeah, this is just, it's embarrassing to make another video like this where we're just not accepting the loss. And today we got away with it again. But yeah, there's been so many times where we don't, and it's just being stopped or letting ourselves get trapped in a V-shaped reversal. So yeah, I just need to try and find a way to take this pressure off myself with my objectives and goals. Really just accept that if I took this slowly, within 2 months, I could pretty much be, not financially where I'd like to be, but be in a position to be able to build that financial independence. Because I could have 5 TPT accounts that buffer, taking daily payouts. And I asked myself this, would I be moving my stop if I had 5 accounts at the buffer, taking daily payouts? I don't think I would. But constantly in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, I have to make this to get an eval, past the eval. I need this to get to the buffer. And I just refuse to take a loss. And yes, I mean, every trader loses. It's the best loser wins, as the author says. I forgot his name, Hogard. Yeah, it's just embarrassing to be saying this again. I just feel I have to be honest about today. Yeah. The only positive is that the eval, which had at one point this week $33 of drawdown, is now back to full drawdown. So I can take this weekend to calm down and relax. And on Monday, hopefully, come back with a new mentality, these new rules in place, and try to get some consistency going. I just have no consistency. It's boom and bust each day. One day really good, next day rules go out the window. Good day, rules go out the window. And it's quite tiring. And yeah, just hate making these videos. I hope one day, I hope later this year I'll be one of these people that like, yeah, look at me, I'm making a request for $60,000. But right now, I am going through the ringer emotionally. But yeah, these things that I've written down, it's all bad, all bad pressure on myself. So I think I'm gonna take time to read some books, Mark Douglas, Jared Tendler, try and get on top of my, get on top of the pressure I'm putting on myself, the time limits, and thinking I need to do all of this now. I just need to tell myself if I follow my rules, by the end of this year, my life could be very different, or at least my trading could be very different. It could be my career, livelihood, if I would just follow the rules. That's all I need to do because I know I can do it, or at least I have the skills, chart reads, and most of the time take good trades. It's just days like this which are just killing my progress. So next week, yeah, putting new risk management rules in place and walking away from the desk when a trade's in play. So thanks again for tuning in on the roller coaster, this battle, emotional battle, and hopefully, well, March is almost done. Hopefully, April, second quarter, we can hit the ground running and hopefully get some momentum going, even if it's not in terms of results, P&L, past evals, at least get some momentum going on respecting the rules and getting my emotions in place. So, hope you have a nice weekend and see you next time. Peace.